Every year, Codemasters and EA Games releases an F1 game, so that the fans of F1 can get behind the wheel of their favourite teams and race to their heart's content, from amateur enthusiasts to hardcore F1 sim racing fans. The game caters to all levels of driver by giving the player the ability to enjoy the game at their own pace. With the release of F1 23, we see the standard typical modes return to the player with time trial, career with an existing team and your own custom driver, or career with your own team and you taking on the role of owner driver and allowing you to make a driver pairing of your choosing, which gives you the opportunity to have a selection of F1 legends to run as your teammate with, the likes of Ayrton Senna, Michael Schumacher, Mika Hakkinen, and the list goes on. The game also returns the 2-player career mode, which we saw debuted in the F1 21 game, allowing you and a friend to enter into a 2-player career for a team of choosing. In this there is 2 modes. You have contract mode and team mode. Contract allows you and a friend to enter into contracts with the same or different teams, and through the racing season allow you to negotiate contracts and switch between teams as offers come in. Alternatively, the team-based mode keeps you and your significant player 2 together, as the primary driver or host player can change teams, meaning your friend will move teams with you. So the game is great at offering a degree of flexibility throughout this mode. In starting a 2-player career, my brother and I decided to race for arguably one of the funniest team principals on the grid and drove for Haas, opening the season with a bang.
Yeah, for 2 points, I would have fucked the whole paddock, you know.
Careful what you wish for, Gunther. It's time to get busy.
Else out there today.
What did you say you would do to the whole paddock?
Hug them.
F1 23 also follows up to F1 21's story-based campaign mode Breakpoint. Personally, I love this mode of the game, as it felt like playing through the widely popular Netflix series Drive to Survive. Except it's interactive, so you can choose what you say to the press after the race, and they just did an amazing job at creating the driver experience. F1 23 performs a bit of a recap with what happened in F1 21's Breakpoint mode, so if you missed it or just needed a refresher, no need to worry, as the recap covers the core elements of the story. F1 23 kicks off seeing some familiar faces. We have the return of the infamous Devin Butler and our once rookie sensation Aiden Jackson. Now if you're familiar with F1 21, you already know about the situation with Devin and Aiden. The two just don't play well together, and in F1 23, well, now they're on the same team.
Jackson might just be the man to do it.
You know what they say, a shoddy workman always blames his tools. mate, you can look at my setup data anytime you want. I've told you that, it might help.
And I've told you before, it's not a setup issue.
F1 23 retains the same features it had from the first game, where every race you are given objectives and bonus objectives to meet per race, and once these objectives are met, you're either going to continue to finish the race or a cutscene will happen directing the outcome of the race. Now because you are assuming control of predetermined characters, there are levels of interaction from cutscene into actual gameplay, where you can hear the characters you're controlling question or comment on orders and information coming through the team communication network, which to me really allow you as the player to further understand the character's perspective and sink in that little bit further into the character you assume as you play. Now after each race that you complete, you will have the opportunity to deal with the press. Now as the player, you need to take careful consideration about how you interact with the press and actually pay attention to the types of questions they are asking, because this will have an effect with your teammates, the team principal, and the team in general, which can affect how the media and the fans view you and the team. Once you return to your menu for the character you were just playing as, you get all the standard offerings which came from the original Breakpoint, like being able to check your emails, review any messages you might have, and also review social media for what the fans are actually saying about you. Now, I found the social media aspect of this to be done really well, as the results on the social media page will be determined by how you perform in the race, along with any comments and speculations based on your responses to the press. I thought this was pretty cool, and offers a bit of insight on what it might actually be like to be an F1 driver, balancing the racing, the business, and the fan content. Breakpoint 2 also has added in a new perspective of gameplay, which now allows you to assume the role of team principal, making important decisions for the team and managing the team perspective in social media and engaging with external parties to promote the team, while juggling the expectations of the primary team sponsor, which reminds me of the first season of Drive to Survive, when Lance Stroll was driving for Williams, and you know Lawrence Stroll was putting pressure on Claire Williams. This now allows you to play the delicate balancing act which is performed by the likes of Toto Wolff, Christian Horner, and lest we forget, the legendary Gunther Steiner.
It's one short word. Shit.
As the team principal, there is also the balancing act of the car's performance and reputation in the media. So while you make interactions to the media while you're in control of the drivers, you also need to manage those outcomes at a higher level within the team. Now the game does a great job at highlighting what comments or decisions will affect the performance and reputation by putting little symbols on the comment which relate to either option. What it doesn't tell you is that the decision you make will have a positive or negative impact, so be careful on what decisions you make. From a graphical perspective, we can see the characters have aged and developed since the initial inception of Breakpoint, which is a nice touch from a development side, as well as growth in characters from their own confidence level and the way you interact through the campaign. Taking Aiden for instance, we can see from F121 through to F123 visually he has grown and changed, which is also translated through dialogue, which gives it a more lifelike feel from a rookie season driver through to now a driver who is confident with their abilities and pushing for more in their professional career. The voice acting taking place for the characters was superb, really giving you the feel and weight of pressure and success in certain aspects, which always plays a vital role in immersing the player into the game they are playing. From a gameplay perspective, I was driving with only the racing line assist and manual with suggested gears, and I found these new cars to handle totally different from the F122 game, which is such a welcome addition, because cars change each year. This again adds to the realism of the actual sport. The car handles so much better and hugs into these corners, but applying too much pressure will cause you to twirl into a runoff or barrier.
Always twirling, twirling, twirling towards freedom.
Now, I was playing this on a wheel setup, and I haven't yet tried this on a controller. However, I have heard that the game is now more friendlier to players wishing to participate in a controller, and I welcome this because it allows more people to participate and engage with players with more expensive setups and remain competitive. I didn't run into any issues or bugs while playing through the campaign, except with the exception of this.
Oda, Bottas, Sargent, Joe, Magnussen, De Vries, Magnussen. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
All that said, if you enjoy Formula 1 Drive to Survive, the experience of Breakpoint won't disappoint. And for anyone interested in the sport and wanting to capture the same levels of drama and behind the scenes action, we'll welcome the beautiful formula and balancing act that this game mode has to offer. Until next time, friends.
Okay, so we're done? Yeah? Cool.